What up guys, Super Metal 993 here bringing you another CD review, and this is going to be the first one of 2017, and we've already started 2017 with some great releases, and I haven't had a chance to review any of them, so I'm going to start getting back into the rhythm of things, and I'm going to be reviewing what is so far my album of the year so far. I know we're only a month into the year, and it's a bit early to be saying that, but I've got like a list that I'm going by. I'm doing the same as I did last year, and that worked pretty well in my opinion. But yeah, doing that list, and this so far on top of the list of other great albums that I've checked out, but this one's still number one so far. But anyway, moving on, this is what I'm going to be reviewing for you today. Yeah, this is the 2017 album from the band Beheaded, entitled Beast Incarnate. This is released under Unique Leader Records. And people who know me will probably know that Unique Leader is one of my favourite labels in the whole world of extreme music. I absolutely love them. I think their artists, from their back catalogue to stuff that they've put out in the past to the present day, has always been top notch. Like, I've discovered so many new bands through that label, and every time a band that I'm familiar with puts out material from that label, I'm like, yeah, I know it's going to be sick as fuck. I mean, just recently, Ingested and Incarnate, make sure you check them out, links down below. I've recently signed to that label as well, and I cannot wait for those albums, because those two are two of my favourite British metal acts, so I cannot wait for these. And Unique Leader has always put out great releases nonetheless. And having said that, Beheaded, Beast Incarnate is definitely one of them to me. This is the band's second album with their new vocalist, or newer vocalist. He was also appeared on their album Never to Dawn, which I picked this up, I think last year, and I still love it. I've blasted it quite a lot since it came out, and I finally have it on CD, so that's pretty awesome. But anything before that, I never really checked out. I mean, I think it's Omnious Bloodline. I think that's what it's called, the album before Never to Dawn. That album, I only listened to, I think, once back in like 2010, maybe something around that time. I think I only listened to it once, and I never went back to it for some reason. But this new, like, era, you could say, of Beheaded with the new vocalist definitely is a bit more accessible to me. I feel a lot more of a connection with this. I think the older stuff, I think, is a bit meh to me. I think it's alright, it's just not amazing to me. But this new era is so sweet. I absolutely love it. And Never to Dawn was, I think, a great rebirth, should we just say, of the band. I think that album was absolutely fantastic, and it definitely made it stable made it stand, should we say, in the world of death metal and the underground and whatnot. But yeah, great album nonetheless. But it's been a while since that album came out. I mean, we're talking 2012 when this came out, so we're talking 5 years in the making, and we now have their new album, Beast Incarnate. And it was one of the albums that I was really looking forward to, in fact. Like I knew Never to Dawn was a great album, but I was like, what's going to be the next step in the chapter of beheading, should we just say? You know, like, I know they're called Beheaded, you know, it's a little joke. Yeah, don't laugh anyway. But I was really stoked, and I bought the album, and when I stuck it on, I instantly was thrown against the wall, just like, ooh, this is really heavy, evil shit. Like I know Unique Leaders put out some heavy records and stuff last year, but they're being pretty clean and stuff. So it was really like a huge smack in the face to hear something with this much intensity and just face pulling nastiness, and I was just like, whew, this is some intense shit. And I was literally mesmerized by hearing this album. Like the start of it, the first track, Beast Incarnate, I was just like, yeah, this is absolutely phenomenal. This is going to be a great album. And as I listen to it, the more and more I've listened to it about 3 or 4 times now. And honestly, I think it is an absolutely an absolute beast of an album. It is literally a beast incarnate, really. It's got so much intensity. I mean, personally, to me, it reminds us a lot of Heat Eternal. If you mix Heat Eternal with, well, Heat Eternal's intensity and non-stop freight train pummel in the face kind of attitude with the kind of groovy, kind of like heavy just riffage from the likes of Illdisposed, you get that kind of like, that blend perfectly. You have got Beast Incarnate by Beheaded, and maybe even Never to Dawn's kind of a little bit like that as well, but I think, excuse me, I think Beast Incarnate is the embodiment of that kind of sound, you know. Oh, and I've just realised I've started to lose focus a little bit. Hello. Right, anyway, moving on. But yeah, this is a great album to listen to. The production is really meaty, very vicious sounding, and very just massive sounding. It just sounds so huge, or as we say in the northeast, huge. You know, it sounds absolutely fucking thick and just meaty and just evil as fuck, really. I think this is a very evil sounding album. It has this demonic kind of atmosphere to it, but it's not as if blackened. It's just got this creepy kind of dark essence that you just can't shake off, and you just feel like there's just so much evil within this sound that is called Beast Incarnate, you know what I mean? Like, the drum work is really intense, very fast paced, and as I said, it's kind of like got this kind of like groove, kind of like simplicity where it needs to be, just downright riffage and heaviness from the drums, kind of bringing the tempos down just right, and then blasting your face off with some really tight, precise blast beats across the border with this album and across the entire album, in my opinion. I think the drum work is intense and creates what this album's all about. The bass work actually kind of surprised me a little bit. Like, it's extremely audible, very, very audible, in fact. It cuts through the mix just right. In my opinion, this is the kind of tone that I think Alex Webster in Cannibal Corpse kind of needs. Like, his bass tone cuts through and clicks far too much. Like, this bass tone does click, but it cuts through just nice, but creates this, like, boomy, pounding, rumbly bass tone, which amplifies the guitars so much and creates just intensity and heaviness just all out of the shop, and it's absolutely phenomenal to hear. Guitar work is more or less the same. It's meaty as fuck. It's nasty sounding. It's raw, punchy, just intense, and just so much oomph behind that guitar. Like, it is honestly one of the heaviest death metal albums I've heard in quite a while, in all honesty. Like, I've heard a lot of great death metal records and some very intense death metal records, but I've never come across an album in quite a while that has packed so much intensity and heaviness as Beast Incarnate does. I think this album, production-wise, is spot on. Like, absolutely spot on. And some great, I might as well add some great lead work in there. Just really well mixed. It's not in your face, just like, look what I can do. None of that fucking shite. Anyway, where it doesn't need to be like that, you know what I mean? But anyway, and the vocal work is absolutely phenomenal. It's a big step up from Never to Dawn. Like, Never to Dawn's vocal performance was intense, but this one is another level. You can feel so much animosity, anger, and just emotion in the vocals. It just feels like it's just coming out in just this evil sense of just intensity and just downright evilness, if you ask me. I think that the work of the Lords, the work of the Highs, and the works across the death metal range is just absolutely phenomenal. I think this album pretty much is a great start of the album. A great start to the year, and I think it couldn't have come at a better time. Like it's going to start off, I have a feeling, like, like, yeah, we've got some great releases coming up, and a load of bands are teasing new material, and there's probably bands that haven't even announced that they're bringing out new material, but I honestly think this one will probably steer within a good chance of being in the top album spots, like in the top 25, because I definitely am going to do a top 25 at the end of the year again, because I had fun doing that. But moving on, but this is definitely gonna be making a feature, because this is absolutely amazing. I might as well just quickly add, I ordered a Indie Merch Store bundle, which I might do an unboxing for, I haven't decided, but I ordered the artwork shirt because I think that is absolutely amazing. CD pressed by Unique Leader. I bought this through UKEM Records, I might as well add, in the UK, so make sure you check them out. I know I say them a lot, but you seriously have to check them out. I'll be mentioning them in the upcoming future, but you'll see why in another video why I'm saying that. But anyway, but I might as well also just quickly add, this is just a little bit of a weird thing, right? Unique Leader, if they end up watching this, which you do, I don't know. But anyway, Never to Dawn, right? The artwork. I'm just going to quickly point this out because I think it's quite weird. But that's Never to Dawn's album artwork, right? If you look at the actual, like when they announced the album, it was a lot more cleaner than that, and the logo was a little bit different. Yeah, I don't know if you ever noticed that. But also, I might as well add, this one's slightly different as well with that logo. I'm not complaining. I mean, it kind of does work really, really well. But I think the album covers that they put up, or the album cover they put up for Beast Incarnate was, I think that's on the vinyl press, and the CD one's slightly different. I don't know how that works. I mean, if Unique Leader ends up seeing this, could you just leave a comment down below, just put us right a little bit, because it's just a little bit confusing. But don't get us wrong, I think this album is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's a great start of the year, and it's really blown me away when it comes to death metal, and I can't praise it enough. I'm gonna say, if you're a fan of Illdisposed, Hate Eternal, and I'm gonna say Trigger the Bloodshed, if you're a fan of any of those bands, give these a chance. I'll leave some links in the description of where you can pick up the album, Indie Merch Store, their Big Cartel, which I believe they're still doing pre-orders, well, not pre-orders, but orders through their band camps or Unique Leader website or whatever. I'll leave it all linked down below, so you can... Why is my camera going out of focus a lot today? Weird. Anyway, but I'll leave all those links down below, so make sure you check them out. And also check out my band down below, Erebor. We've just recently released our EP, which I'll actually quickly plug, if I can find it. Yeah, we recently pressed our EP on CD, so I'll mention that more in the updates and purchases coming up. So yeah, anyway, check out my band and other links down below, and I'll see. For an overall score, I nearly forgot there. For an overall score on this album, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think it's an excellent album and a great start of the year, but we'll see what happens as the year progresses. So yeah, make sure you check out Beheaded's Beast Incarnate and also Never to Dawn by Beheaded. They're both intense albums and Unique Leader releases across the border. But anyway, I'll see you until the next video, and remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later. I fucked up that ended, I know.